Hello everyone, I'm Gillenardo, your local church organist, and this is episode 1 of the new year, volume 2, 2026. Guess what I got for Christmas? Besides the haircut. I'll let you know. So, first of all, announcements. Today is the 17th, which is a Saturday. I've been spending the day at home here, fixing things, cleaning things, changing the oil in my deep fryer, laundry, a ton of it, getting things prepared. The 27th of this month is a very special day for me. Something big, life-changing is going to happen in my life. And let me make this perfectly clear. No, I am not getting married. You're way over there. Let's move you closer. Now we can get up close and personal about it. No, I'm not getting married. Something very special is going to happen on the 27th of this month, 10 days from today. So make sure you look for the next video after this because it's going to be about that. That's all I'm saying. It's a big surprise. And I am so looking forward to it. Alright, so today I'm going to do another music and dinner video. Nobody has said very many comments about whether you like the cooking or not, so I'm going to keep doing it. If somebody says, okay, enough of that, let's do something else, then I'll do something else. I did have one viewer that replied back, yes, more cooking please. So we'll keep doing. So today I'm going to make a jambalaya. Now I gotta let you know, I've said this before, I am not a gourmet chef. The way I make my jambalaya, somebody who is purist, Cajun, may look at that and say, that ain't jambalaya, not the way I grew up. Yes, I understand that, and I will give that to you. I'm an Italian, I grew up in an Italian household. But the way I've eaten jambalaya and the way I've seen jambalaya over the years, I've come to cook it a certain way that it does taste authentic, and I use Cajun seasonings. While I'm doing this, I'm going to feature this book. This is a nice little book full of little preludes, postludes. You could use them for preludes, postludes, offertories. But what's nice about them is they're all 1 to 2 pages. Nothing longer than 2 pages from one side to the other side of the next page. Nothing bigger than that, okay? It's easy reading. It's in all kinds of keys. There's from C. I saw one in here that's written in key of, here's one in G flat, A flat, F, A flat again, actually F minor. Here's E major. So they're different. It's still easy reading though. I'm going to play you 3 samples out of this book. It's great work for church services, especially smaller churches where you don't have a lot of people and your postlude tends to go on and everybody's all gone out of the church and you're still playing. Or you're at the end of the offertory and you're still in the beginning of the song and then the collection plates are already down at the back ready to come up. So you want something that's shorter for moments like that, especially when there's less attendance in your church. So that's what these are good for. So we're going to play a few of those. I'm going to play 3 of them for you. They're all preludes by different composers, and you'll see the name and the composer come up next to me at the church when we do that. So before we go here, let's show you what I'm going to do here. So let me pull everything out and then we will go from there. Okay, so here we are. This is everything that's going to go into my jambalaya. Okay, rice, well, we need rice. We have onion, bell pepper, mushrooms, tomatoes. We're going to dice them up. Kielbasa, gotta have kielbasa. Shrimp. Now, the shrimp I use is actually, I get it from Walmart, and it's raw shrimp. It's all deveined, peeled, and ready to cook, so you don't have to pull tails or anything like that. We got celery. And then the seasonings, a lot of seasonings because there's a lot of spice in this. Okay, so what we have is we have parsley, Old Bay, Cajun seasoning, chili, lemon pepper, ground cayenne pepper, not a whole lot because that will toast your tongue if you put too much in there, paprika, thyme, basil, and turmeric for color. Paprika and turmeric are really for color. Okay, then on that, or in that, we're going to add two cans of lump crab and 1 can of boiled clams. So that all goes in. This will all go in there. So what we have to do first is we have to dice down the vegetation and get it started in butter on the stove. So let's go to church and listen to our first song while I get that all prepared, and then when we come back, we'll take it from that step. Okay? Okay, so we're back, and you see I got the onions, bell peppers, celery, and tomatoes. And mushrooms. They're all done. So while we were off camera, I went ahead and wiped this off, and when I brought it back, I accidentally bumped that, and all my peppers went all over the floor, so I had to cut another pepper. Things happen, and it's not a perfect world. Okay, so let's go over here to the stove. All right, and I'm sure you recognize this stove. And this is what everything's going to cook in. We're going to put the rice in here. So now let me tell you about the rice. I use boil in a bag because it's just a lot easier. And then what we'll do is once the rice is done, we'll add it to it. Pretty much like we did with the cacciatore. Everything goes into the one pot. Only it's not an Italian dish, so I can't call it cacciatore. So first thing we want to do is I'm going to use avocado oil. I'm going to put enough to give it enough fluid. Turn that heat on. We're going to let that warm up for a minute. And then we're going to do this in layers, okay? So the first layer is going to be the onions, the bell peppers, and the mushrooms. And when they get all sauteed nice, then we're going to add the celery and tomatoes. And then when they get nice and soft, then we're going to add the shrimp. And the shrimp is frozen. That's going to take a while. So while that's cooking, I'll go and work on my laundry, and then I'm going to come back, we'll add the kielbasa to it. All the while that's happening, this rice will be boiling and getting ready. The last thing we're going to do, we're going to add all these spices. I don't know if you can see them over here. There they are. We're going to add all these spices to that. And it's just going to all blend, and then we'll just let it saute for quite a while. And then it should come out as a nice tasting and a nice robust jambalaya. So we'll see. So now that's getting hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our onions. Bell peppers. And mushrooms. Now these are canned mushrooms. I didn't get to the store to get the fresh mushrooms, but you can use canned or fresh. It doesn't matter. They're portobellos or baby bellas, I think is what they're called. So and then we're going to mix that all into the avocado oils. I can already smell this. What we could do is add a little bit of salt, and that will help the process to cook. And it heats everything up faster. I think that's something to do with sodium. And if you're a chemist, you probably know a lot more than I do about it. Okay, so we'll let that go for a little while. We'll put the cover on that. And then when they get nice and brown and soft, then we'll add the next layer. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get the rice started. I am running out of room here. So according to the directions, 4 cups of water. Okay. And then 4 cups of water. And then we add the rice. So we're going to pull bag out. Okay. And this will fill that pan up. So just so you might think, oh, that's not enough rice. Yeah, it will be when it's done. Then we're going to turn that on. Okay. And we're just going to submerge that in there. We're going to let that come to a boil. Now, my burners here don't like to bring things to a boil very fast. So I'm going to just cover that to help it boil. Then I'll take it off as I need to. You shouldn't have to do that, but I seem to have to do that because these burners just don't seem to get hot enough. And wouldn't you know, somebody is calling me. Hello?
Hey Edward, it's Kay. Due to the weather forecast, we're going to close church for tomorrow.
Yes, I was told twice already.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so I guess you heard that. We are expecting snow overnight tonight, so they went ahead and canceled church for tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and let these soften up. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and listen to that second song that I have prepared for you. Okay, so as you hear, that's boiling away in the background. So now what I'm going to do is cut the kielbasa. I'm going to use this whole thing. Now you're probably saying to yourself, man, you're one person. What are you making so much food for? Well, I'm going to have some tonight, and then I'll put a little bit in a container for Monday for lunch. And then the rest I can put in a container and freeze it. Actually, it'll probably take 2 containers. That's good. We are still in the middle of winter. February, which is the coldest month around here, is meant to happen. So I don't only have this in the freezer, but I also have soups from last spring that I made last winter still left over in the freezer. So we're going to cut this about 1 inch, no bigger. So the onions smell and sound like they're getting ready. They're getting closer. So I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to go ahead while I'm cutting this, we're going to go ahead and add the next layer. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Let's get it soft. Everybody's getting soft here. It's frying up. I did add a tablespoon of garlic, which I didn't show you before. I'm not so sure if garlic is one ingredient in normal jambalaya, but hey, I'm Italian. I can't live without garlic. That's like a swimmer living without water. Our rice is still cooking away. So while we're doing that, we're going to add the celery. And celery needs to get soft. You don't want it hard. And while that's there, we're going to go ahead and add our canned stuff. Alright, so if you ever used canned seafoods like this, like shrimp or crab or clams, you want to take the brine water out. The brine water does not add to the flavor of the dish. It actually spoils it. I found that out the hard way. So what I'm doing is I'm draining the water out before I put it in. Crab. Okay, yeah. It's 2. 1 more. That's the other crab. When they package this crab, this lump crab, they package it in a wrapper, a paper wrapper, in the can. So you gotta make sure the wrapper doesn't fall into the pot. Alright, so let's mix that up. Look how that's getting now. And then we're gonna add our shrimp a little bit. Now you notice that disappeared. That's because I just put all that cooler flavors in. We'll let that cook, and we'll finish the kielbasa slicing, and let's see what's next. We got to put the shrimp in, and then all the seasoning. So I'll be back. Okay, so I got my kielbasa all chopped up. We're still waiting for the last part to soften. All those the celery has to soften yet before we can add the shrimp. I just wanted to show you this. So I got this for Christmas. At Christmas we had one of those white elephant parties where you pick a gift, you don't know what it is, and if you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you take whatever somebody else got. Other people call it greedy Christmas, something. It's fun, but what was really weird was every one of us, pretty much, almost all of us, that opened a gift liked what we got. So we all kept what we got, and I got this. It's a nice board. I went ahead and treated it with mineral oil. So, and then after I get done, I'll clean it up with water. No soap. You don't ever want to use soap on here because it will dry it out and crack it. And then I'll take mineral oil and I'll coat it back over both sides. And then set it back up on the shelf. And next time I use it, it'll be all ready to go. So, alright, so this has been cooking now, so let's take a look at it. It's beginning to dry up a little bit. So, we don't want it to burn, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on. Done. And the water in the rice is just about boiling. Bring it to a boil. Boil uncovered 8 to 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and uncover that. And for 10 minutes that goes. When that gets done, we'll go ahead and add it. Let's see. So now we got to get the shrimp out. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, I'll tell you, it smells like a seafood shop in here with that crab meat in there. Okay, so when I add these shrimp, the shrimp are frozen solid, so they're going to have to not only thaw, but also cook through where they're nice and pink. And I'm going to put enough so that when I take a scoop, now these will get smaller, when I take a scoop out and put it in a bowl to eat, I want to get a bunch of shrimp with it, so I'm not going to skimp on this. I may add this whole bag. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and put the whole bag in there. They will get smaller. Now that's going to add water. So what I want to do is not cover it because I want some of that water to evaporate. Now when those all turn pink, then we'll go ahead and add the next layer. Okay, let's see how we're doing. I went ahead and put the lid back on because it's starting to dry out. The rice is about ready. Okay, that's nowhere near ready yet. Yeah, see they're starting to turn pink. I want to keep mixing it and get the lesser done ones on the bottom and get the pinker ones up on top. Get them closer to the heat. Alright, that still has a bit to go. This is done. We'll just leave that there for now until that's done. play this one. Okay, so it's been a little bit more time, and now they're starting to turn pink. Oh, that smells. Oh, I can smell that shrimp. Mmm, that is good smelling. Some of them are still a little colorless, but they will finish. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the next part, which will be the kielbasa. I'm going to spread them around just like we spread the shrimp around. Kielbasa, tomatoes, and the rice. So I went ahead and drained the water out of the pot to make it easier. You see how much rice that added. Throw this away. Stir that all up, and then we're gonna do the final part, which is add all those seasonings. They're going to turn this into a jambalaya. Now you can actually add some white wine to this too, if you wanted to. I don't have any, so I'm not going to. I'm not going out. It's getting cold outside. It's starting to rain. I got one more load of wash that is just finishing up and getting ready to go. Look at the color in that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, the seasoning is what's going to do this. First of all, since, now I don't know how Cajun this is, but I have this thing about Old Bay. I live on the eastern shore of Maryland, and Old Bay is a staple around here. And that's pretty much all of it. Yeah, that's all of it. I got another can. So now, my philosophy on adding things, I don't really measure anything. And right now I probably lost all of the cooks in the world. Probably just said, oh no, really? Bang, shut me off. I go by layer. If I add a nice even layer to where it just peppers it, that's enough to flavor the whole thing. That's my philosophy. I think my grandmother had that same philosophy. I never saw her measure anything. She would go like this. That's enough. And boom. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. And what I'm adding here is thyme. I got all the time in the world. Church has been canceled. Now I'm going to use lemon pepper in place of regular black pepper. And the reason is it's a seafood. There's seafood in there. That lemon pepper will add the lemon flavor along with the pepper. And again, just a layer. Now the only thing I'm not going to do a layer like that is going to be cayenne pepper. This stuff, a dab will do you. Unless you like it seriously hot. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Because that will make my eyes water if I had too much. Paprika is more for color. We're going to add enough of that to just color it. Chili powder to give it a little bit more of a Cajun kick. Not a whole lot again. Yeah, so this would be like the cayenne pepper. Too much of parsley, yeah, load it. While I'm doing this, that's still just cooking away. And when we mix this in, you'll see how it all comes to color. And I have a Cajun seasoning, which is a mix of different herbs, and it does have that western flavor to it. And I'm going to add that to it, kind of like Tex-Mex. Actually that is up here. And then we have basil. I'm Italian, so you almost see how much seasoning is actually going in this. The turmeric, I always say it wrong. That's going to give it that Cajun color. And that's that. Now we're going to mix that all up. What's shaking? I'm going to mix that all in there. Make sure it's mixed in good. You want all those seasonings to get in there everywhere. How about that, huh? That looks good, but it just has to saute for a while. And when I say a while, I mean probably about at least 30 minutes. The longer the better, because all those seasonings will just absorb and marinate in. Oh, it smells great already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover that. I'm going to put it all the way down below. We're going to leave it set for 30 minutes. Okay, so it has been 30 minutes. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Turn that off. We don't need it. That's done. Look at that. Now, that's my version of jambalaya. It may not be authentic, but it sure tastes Cajun. And it does taste good. And I'm about to eat it. So the best way to eat this, I think, is in a bowl with a soup spoon. You get every drop out of it. Now, one of the things I do like is, I don't know how authentic Cajun this is, but I'll put some either mozzarella or a mix of mozzarella and cheddar, or just cheddar. One or the other. I like cheese. I'm a cheesy guy. That's why. So there you are. Here's our dinner. Let me back off so you can see this. Okay. And there it is. There is my grandma would say, Bene mangiare, or Bene mangi, which means good eating. Oh, bon appetito. I'll add that on there. This is episode 1 of volume 2. New year. So, God bless. I hope this year is a blessing for everyone. I hope your expectations are fulfilled with the best blessings from the Lord. Keep watching on the 27th, or maybe a few days after that, because I'm going to have to edit the video, because something wonderful is going to happen in my life. And again, no, I'm not getting married. So until then, this is your local church organist. God bless, and I'll see you next time.